So I am on my way to my niece's house to get my nails done and to drop off a viola for her son to use for because he's joining orchestra this year. And when she went to the music store, they didn't have what she needed. And I have two violas. I won't explain why, but well, I should say my son has two violas, so I told her she could borrow one. So I figured I'd do another drive through Minot while I'm on my way to her house. Just have another. This is Minot. So this is the park over here. Actually, let's drive through here right quick. This is Oak Park. And in the wintertime, well, Christmas time, I should say, they will have um, the lights and all of the things that you can drive through here with your you can drive through here with your kiddos to let them see the lights and stuff. On Tuesdays and Thursdays they have a farmers market. It's a little farmers market. It's not like super big. Since COVID, it's gotten smaller. Of course, a lot of things have seemed to not bounce back after COVID, but they do have a farmers market. Um, they have a splash pad here. The splash pad is free to use. They also will have they have a lot of pavilions out here that you don't have to rent a pavilion to use it. But if you want to make sure that a pavilion is available on the day that you're going to have an event, then you would need to reserve it because you don't want to get to the park and then there's no pavilion available. They have a lot of free grills out here. A few years ago, hey, thanks for tuning in. A few years ago, before, I don't know if it was before my dad got ill, my mom had Praise in the Park out here, which was really good. A lot of people from the community came out. It's a really nice park. A lot of people come out here and they will get their exercise in. They'll do a lot of walking and stuff because, as you can see, it's very shaded, has a lot of shade. Right off to the right is the river. So there's water out here. It's not the best looking water because people don't know how to not pollute. And sometimes you'll see trash in there, unfortunately, because it's windy here. And if you throw something out on the ground or out of your car, what have you, the wind is going to get it and it's just going to be all over the place. And then sometimes it has a bunch of green algae in there, but nonetheless, there's water over there. There's a camp out here. It's the Girl Scouts camp. I've never been back there because I'm a little too old for Girl Scouts and I don't have any daughters. So people would think I'm quite strange to be back there. Um, yeah, so this park is really nice. My kids have had birthday parties out here. We do a lot of things out here because it's free to come out here. And like I said, unless you want to make sure that a pavilion is available on the day that you're going to have an event, you don't have to reserve a pavilion. You could just take your chances and come out here and get a pavilion. Now, if you get a pavilion that you didn't reserve and someone happened to reserve the pavilion, then you'll stand a chance that they'll ask you to move, but no big deal. And then they have out here on the outside where you can drop your leaves. If you rake your yard up, you can drop your leaves. Minot is getting ready to have, actually it started last week the citywide pickup. So if you have a bunch of junk, everybody has junk in their house. We may not think it's junk, but it's stuff that we just aren't using. So you can put it out in front of your house, and the city is coming around and picking up the stuff, and it's no cost to you. It doesn't cost anything for that. So this is the park. I didn't go through the entire park, but it's a pretty nice park. It's one of the many parks that we have here. Oh, it's starting to rain. Sorry, guys. This is one of the many parks that we have here. I'm going to drive around by the splash pad. Let's see if we can get a look at that. A look at that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to give another look at Minot. If you are new to my channel, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. But one of the things I do on my channel is I talk about North Dakota and the many benefits of living in North Dakota. It's one of the few places here in the United States that is still very affordable. You can buy a home for less than $300,000 and not a piece of junk home. I'm talking about a home that you're not going to be embarrassed to have people over and say you live there type of home. So I like to just let people know that move. If where you're living, I was trying to get a shot of the, sorry. If where you're living, that's one of the stages they have out here, and then they have another stage. So if you're living somewhere that the cost of living has just gotten too, yes, you can find a very affordable apartment, very cheap apartment here. You can still find an apartment here, 2-bedroom for $625. I mean, and this is not like a bad area, like crackhead area and all that kind of stuff. We don't really have that here. Now, you do have this one trailer park area that is like sketchy, but as far as like how some people say there's a hood everywhere, not really, not really, not really. And this is the playground area. Oh, and the splash pad is still open, which is surprising because usually after kids go back to school after Labor Day, the splash pad is turned off. But it's good to know that it's still open because we still have some warm days yet ahead. But climbing out here after, if you're talking about the uh recent thing of the unaliving of the gentleman, the climbing is fine. Climbing is fine. We have people here, of course, you have people with different views, different political views, different uh views on everything. But here, people don't really bother you. I've been in North Dakota, Minot, North Dakota. I'm leaving outside of the park, you guys. So this is one of the exits out of the park. And over here is where you can dump your leaves and tree branches and all that stuff when you do your yard. So, as I was saying, I've been here 13 years. I've never had someone call me a slur, racial slur, anything like that. They may have, but not to my face. Because I wouldn't say that they have. No one has, because people will. A lot of people are pretenders. So I will never say that we don't have any racists here, but I will say that we've never had any reports, as far as I know of the white supremacists distributing hate mail, putting hate mail on people's cars to recruit and all that kind of stuff. Now, when I lived in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, that was a thing. And we have way more black people in Atlanta. And where I lived at outside of Atlanta was a huge population of blacks, African American, and I say black and African American separately because everybody that's uh, a person black in America is not African American. You have people that came from Jamaica, you have people that came from actual Africa, one of the many countries in Africa, because people tend to forget that Africa is not a country, it is actually a continent with many countries. But I had that problem in Atlanta, but not here. In fact, when I first moved to North Dakota, maybe not when I first moved, but not too long after, there was a group of people, non-melanated people. They moved to a little town called Leeds, North Dakota. And you can look it up because it made national news. But they moved to a little town called Leeds, North Dakota. And they tried to take over the town with their rhetoric. There was one black guy lived in the town, and I think a few Native Americans. The rest of the people were white. And they said, oh, hell no. We're not doing that here. Don't come here with that foolishness. They asked for help from the outside, cities from the outside to come over and help them. And the people banded together and helped them. They did some research and started digging on the people that were trying to stir up ruckus. And they found some criminal things in their background. They got arrested. And needless to say, what they tried to do did not happen. And the majority of the town were white people. And they said, no, we're not going for that. It's peaceful here. We don't want that drama. Anybody has the right to live here. Don't bring that foolishness here. So that's one of the things I love about North Dakota. And I'm never going to say that there are no racists here because there are racists everywhere. And somebody always got to act the fool, no matter where you go. But I did not know it was going to rain, you guys. But let me clean off the windshield so to be clear. But here it is very safe. It is very safe. I am driving down Broadway, which is one of the main streets here in Minot. We passed 1, 2, 3. I think it's like at least 5. I would exaggerate and say 10 banks on this street, but there are at least 5 banks on this street. So that lets you know, and they're not all the same bank. So that lets you know. But it is a safe place. What I like is you can buy a home, a nice home, for a price that is not going to set you back. You can afford to live here. You can buy a home that let me clean up the windshield again. I did not know it was going to rain, you guys. You can buy a home in a nice neighborhood that has no HOA. That's what I love. Because HOAs, some of them, when I hear about some of those stories in Florida and Georgia, the HOA, they are out of control. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But here, we have one neighborhood, unless something has recently changed. Well, we have one neighborhood that has an HOA. And that's because that neighborhood decided to put in a park and the park is not maintained by the city. That particular park is not maintained by the city. It's maintained by that neighborhood. Now the funny thing is the park is not private. And it's not a gated community, any of that. So yeah, it's just kind of, but um you're gonna live in a nice neighborhood. Now you do have some older homes, um, some areas where the homes are older, they may need some paint. But as far as just raggedy, hood looking, bad trailer park looking, you're not gonna find that. It's a rarity. Like Valley Street here is probably the worst street you're going to find in Minot. The worst looking street you're going to find in Minot. Valley looks like, whoa, what the world is going on? The city needs to do something. Where is code enforcement? Where is code enforcement? But other than that, it's not that bad. Actually, I'm not too far from Valley Street. I'm going to drive you down Valley Street, and you're going to be like, because one part of Valley, when you turn down Valley Street, it looks like, what? If you're not from here and you first come, yes, HOAs are a menace. If you're not from Minot and you first come to Minot and you drive down Valley Street, you'll be like, Shantae told me there was no hood. There was no uh raggedy trailer parkish looking area in North Dakota. She lied. This is the hood. But as soon as you turn off of Valley Street and you go up Hiawatha, part of Hiawatha is like, but when you go up that hill of Hiawatha, it's like, ooh, this is where the money at. This is where the money resides. Where the money resides. Where the money resides. I'm not too far from there. So I'm going to drive you guys down Hiawatha. I'm going to drive you down Valley, and hopefully the rain doesn't get too heavy, so you'll still be able to see. But I'm going to drive you down Valley, then we're going to cut up Hiawatha and come through another neighborhood, and you're going to be like, this neighborhood doesn't have HOA, and this neighborhood is absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood I live in is the older neighborhood. It's very well maintained. A lot of the houses over there are really big houses. It's a part of Minot where doctors and lawyers used to live back in the day. And then when they built over at Hiawatha, the newer people moved over to Hiawatha. Now Hiawatha is older. My neighborhood is older. Hiawatha is an older neighborhood now, and now they have the newer, which is the country club, which is really like, oh, the upper. But you can. I'm telling you, if you are struggling and you are tired of struggling, you are tired of getting by, and I know inflation is up. And even with inflation, even with inflation, even with what's going on in the economy, North Dakota is still a great place. I moved here. I need a new windshield wiper. I moved here during the recession. During the recession. I moved here in 2012. The recession was well in effect, but North Dakota was still doing very well. Very well. North Dakota was not affected by the recession at all. I just passed the old hospital where all of my 4 kids were born. Minot has grown a lot. I just learned the other day that the high school that was downtown They turned that into a middle school, and now there's or then I can't remember. And when they built the new $200 million high school here, um, they changed some things around because we have so many people coming here. Now this is a hospital right here. It doesn't have emergency services. They have psychiatric services, they have speech therapy, and the Dakota College of Botano nursing program is there. And they used to have day surgery there. I don't know if they still do day surgery there since they built the new hospital and they combined a lot of things over at the new hospital. But what was so interesting about this hospital, okay, so over here is St. Joe's was the hospital. And then over here, where I'm going to spin in through, is the medical arts building. And you could take the underground tunnel from well, if you were staff, take the underground tunnel from the medical arts building over to St. Joe's. But medical arts has a pharmacy here. This is where our walk-in clinic is at. Now, a lot of places, well, you all, most of you, if you're here in America, most places call it urgent care, but here it's called the walk-in clinic. So it's not like the free low-income clinic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of people just think, oh, when you say clinic, but no, this is not that. That is like medical offices. Like they have pediatric doctors are still in there. Now this says this is no way out, but that's the absolute lie. I've worked here in Luxor long enough that I know you can get out this way. But we're going down Hiawatha, and we didn't have to go this way to get down to Valley Street. I just wanted to show you some other things: the old hospital, St. Joe's Hospital, and where some of the medical offices are at. So we're getting ready to turn on Valley. But North Dakota is a great place to me. It's not perfect, but no place is perfect. Y'all see how Valley look? Let me take the camera off of the thing that I'm holding it. This is Valley. They look. I'm not sure why they got a tent in their yard. Valley look terrible. If I was still in North Miami Beach, code enforcement would have a field day. See, the community I lived in North Miami Beach, we didn't have a HOA. With code enforcement, oh, baby, code enforcement would have a field day with this street. They would be like, clean up your yard. If we got to clean it up, lean on your house. Paint the house. If we got to come paint this house, lean on your house. Code enforcement in North Miami Beach didn't play. I don't know how they are now, but when I lived there and when I owned the house there, code enforcement didn't play, baby. So now we're going up Hiawatha. So this is the bottom of Hiawatha. Made me think of when I used to be younger and watching The Heat of the Night with my grandmother. Ooh, I miss my grandmother. And she would be like, oh, it was one part in the neighborhood on Heat of the Night was called the Bottoms. Now this don't look like the Bottoms, but I don't know why that thought just came to mind, the Bottoms, when I said the bottom of the hill. Hold on, let's get the water off the windshield. Now I'm not gonna make it seem like all Minot is fancy. Ooh, so that has got to be empty. Okay, now we're getting up the hill. flip this back on. Oh no, it's really starting to rain now. I'm gonna continue the video. I'm not gonna drop the video since it's people still watching. And here we go. What's that song? A whole new world. I can't sing. What? This is up the hill. Up the hill. We're moving on up to a deluxe house in the sky high high. Excuse my singing, y'all. I'm just trying to be funny. Yes, it was really quick. Yes, you are absolutely right, Nightcast. The pay is decent. You can find a high paying job here. And even if it's not high paying, you can still live very comfortably making $50,000 a year. Even less than that. Yes, that was really quick. It's like, and then I'm going to take y'all down. My husband and I, we love this little cul-de-sac area, but nothing has ever gone up for sale over there. It's like people are like, we're not moving. I'm like, I love that cul-de-sac. Kids can get out, ride their bike. There's no through traffic. It's a nice area, but there's nothing ever for sale coming through here because this hill. They don't have a stop sign right there. Okay. Over there is Kingdom Hall. And look at this. Look at this. Up Hiawatha. No HOA. No HOA. Now, do you guys see anybody with a whole bunch of raggedy, broken down junk in the yard? Absolutely not. And there is no HOA. No HOA. My niece is probably wondering where I'm at because it doesn't take that long to get to her house from my place. But I took the scenic route and I waited to start the camera until I was well out of my neighborhood. But one of these days, I'm going to drive you through probably the next video. I'll drive you through the backside of my neighborhood. Not exactly where I live because, there's some crazy people in this world. But I'm going to drive you out through the backside of my neighborhood. But there is no HOA. No HOA. And this is such a beautiful neighborhood. Beautiful neighborhood. My brother, him and his wife live in a newer neighborhood. That neighborhood is probably 10 years old, maybe 9 or 10 years old. When I first moved here, the neighborhood that my brother and his wife lives in, there was nothing there. It was open land. It was open land. My husband and I, Evans and I, we would go in that neighborhood because it was just open land. It wasn't even a neighborhood. We would drive over there and you could park and you could see 10 miles away on a clear day. 10 miles away on a clear day. And now it's all built up. Really nice neighborhood, still no HOA. Across the street, there's a little lake. My brother was like thinking the lake was real. I was like, no, child, that lake ain't real. They put in that lake because the road flooded every time it rained. That lake is not real. He's like, So here's another neighborhood. We're still on Hiawatha. I'm gonna turn. It's just no, they don't drive crazy when it rains. No. Most people here, you gotta really know how to drive because it snows here and it gets icy here, so you gotta know how to drive. I have figured out, and to me, the people that drive pretty crazy here, driving fast, just ridiculous, are people that are not from here. A lot of them are the Texans that have moved here, and they still think they gotta get to the other side of Houston, which is 45 minutes away. That's just my perception. It could be wrong. So this is a private school over here. That's a private school, Our Redeemers. The private school and a church. My kids actually went there for a short period of time. They were really nice, really nice. My kids, my son was the only black kid in his class, one of the few black kids in the school, but he never had any problems. I never felt like there was anything awkward or what have you. What I loved about them going there is right before school starts, you go to orientation and they tell you, oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for your support. I appreciate it. Super chat is on. No pressure. Y'all know I don't pressure. In fact, somebody gave a super chat and I didn't even notice it till I think probably why it's like a month or two later. I had to issue apology and say, listen, charge it to my head, not my heart, because I didn't check my analytics and I didn't see it when it first came up. But thank y'all very much. And the super chat is on. But during orientation, they tell you, listen, your kids have 2 weeks to get it together. If they don't get it together in 2 weeks, they're going to be put out. We don't care about your money, your check. If they can't get it together in 2 weeks, they got to go. They have to go. And that's exactly what they said. They have to go. I was like, oh, this is my kind of place. This is my kind of place. Because I'm trying my best to raise my children where I deem is the right way. And when you're trying to raise your children the right way, they can be easily influenced by other people who are doing wrong. I don't let my kids smart mouth, slick talk the teacher. Oh, first of all, that's an adult. And you're not going to be slick talking me, talking crazy. So you're going to treat other adults with respect. You're not going to be cutting up in class, being the class clown, cutting a fool. No. So I appreciate a school that has a standard of what we're not going to do. In the words of my mother, what we're not going to do around here and what's not going to happen. I appreciate that. But Our Redeemers, they were cool. And then my youngest son, he went to Bishop Ryan. He went to Bishop Ryan for kindergarten readiness. I like the program, kindergarten readiness, because he went to school all day from 8 to 3 for kindergarten readiness. So it really helped him get prepared for how to behave in school and to know that you can't play all the time. You got to sit still. You have to do your work and all of that. Now, Bishop Ryan, they did come with we don't think he's ready for kindergarten, because they thought they were going to get some more money up out of me and his daddy to keep him back in preschool, because preschool over there costs more. And these are apartments. I've been inside of these apartments maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago. They're really nice inside. They're really nice apartments, but these are apartments. They're close to Hiawatha. We still are down the street from Hiawatha. I just took a little detour to drive you guys by the school and what have you. But those are apartments. There is a church across the street. I believe that church is Lutheran, a Lutheran church. But yeah. Um, but Bishop Ryan, they had a good program. Now this is over here, low income housing. This is low income housing. I used to have a client that lived over here. One of my home care clients lived over here. I don't know if he still lives over here or not, y'all. I had to fire Kevin as a client. I had to fire him. He was, woo, Lordy. You ever had a client? You ever, if you're in business, tell me if you ever had a situation that the person that you provided services to, even though you made a good money from them for the service you provided, you had to get rid of them because they were a hot mess. That's the playground. You ever had to get rid of them because they were just a hot mess doing the most? And it was like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this nonsense. I don't work for anybody. If you haven't, I hope you do get to the place in life that if you are an entrepreneur, that even if somebody is paying you $15,000, because that's how much I got from Kevin a month, for Medicaid. He was a Medicaid recipient. Medicaid paid for him 15 grand a month. But I hope you get to the point where you can be like, you know what? Yes, this is a lot of money, but I don't have to put up with this nonsense. And you have to go. You have to go. So I hope. I know I'm not hoping that you get a bad experience. Hear me? I don't take it as that. I don't wish you get bad clients, bad customers. Yeah, this is low income, very nice, very maintained, well maintained. I never heard about any shenanigans or any trouble over there. I never heard of that. Never heard of that. And it's very maintained. I rode through there to show y'all that because right across the street, these homes are like 400 some $1,000. And I know because it may be more because they had one for sale and I was looking it up. This is a 55 and older community, to my knowledge. Very well maintained. There's no gates because there's no need for a gates. And I hope there's never get to the point where we need to live in gated communities here in North Dakota. But there's no gates. There's it's a very nice community. Very nice community. But I'm not wishing that you get clients that give you hell or just give you a bad experience. I'm not wishing that at all. My prayer is that you get to the point one day where you make enough money that if you get a client, a customer, or whoever that don't know how to act, just can't seem to get it together, that you don't have to put up with their foolishness. And you could be like, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But I'm not subjecting my employees to this anymore. And you're fired. You got to find somebody else to provide you with the service. You got to go. Kick rocks. Hit the bricks. That's my hope for you. These are townhomes. These are very nice in the inside also. I had a client that lived in one of these before. She was such a sweet lady. A sweet lady. The only problem we had with her, which was not a big problem, but she wanted one of the workers to clean her car. I'm like, listen, Medicaid don't pay us to clean your car. They don't pay us for that. They pay us to come over here and help you with what you need and help you with light chores, help you with your activities of daily living and light chores, not cleaning out your car. But once I had to talk with her, she was like, okay, no problem. But can I have her on her off time? Can I have her take my car to the car wash? Sure, that's between you and her, but it's not on my you have to pay her direct, not on my dime. Not on my dime, because Medicaid will not have me banned from medicating for life and potentially getting investigated by the feds for Medicaid fraud. This is a new surgical center. Dr. Albers, Dr. Lee, and I can't remember who else is in here. Dr. Albers. Dr. Albers is a podiatrist. Oh my goodness. Dr. Albers is such a sweet doctor. He is so nice. He is such a nice guy. He takes care of my dad. My dad is diabetic. When my mom calls and says something is going on with my dad, Dr. Albers is gonna fit him in. He told my mom, if they tell you there's no appointment, you gotta wait or whatever, tell them you need to speak to my nurse, and my nurse is gonna make sure he gets in. Dr. Albers, he is such a he is. If every doctor cared like Dr. Albers, the world would be a better place. And I have plantar fasciitis, and he does my cortisone shots or what have you. But he's a really nice, really good doctor. Um, he used to be part of Trinity Health. Him, Dr. Lee, and like I think 3 or 4 other doctors, and they broke off and left Trinity and opened this surgical center. I think it opened last year, the end of last year. So that was a little bit of Minot, a little bit more of Minot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit like if you haven't already. Help me with the algorithm. If you've been here a couple times, but you haven't made it official, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free. Show your appreciation. I thank y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I know I said that already, but I'm going to say it again. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Starting in October, I am going to be hosting. Well, I don't know if I want to call it hosting, but I'm going to be starting um, prayer every Sunday because we know the economy is getting iffy, and I know everybody doesn't live here in North Dakota. Most of my subscribers, I would say 99% of my subscribers don't live here in North Dakota. So I know people have lost their jobs, or you may be afraid that you are going to lose your job. But we can survive and thrive in this climate. We don't have to just be in survival mode. We are going to thrive, and we can do it with the help of the Lord. So on Sunday, starting in October, I'm going to be doing a live prayer Sunday morning, 5 in the morning. And why Sunday? Because it is the start of the week. You know, a lot of times people think it's Monday is the start of the week, but Sunday starts a new week. We want to get refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to face the week. And why 5 a.m.? Because it's quiet. If we have children, some of us, kids aren't up at 5, 8 a.m. unless it's just, it could be a rarity. And I'm just driving a little bit further because my niece lives in one of the apartments I drove past, and I'm not going to drive up to the apartment um, with the video on. But we're back down Valley Street. Um, so I am going to be having live prayer starting in October, because October starts of the end of the year. It's the fourth quarter. So let's get ready for the first quarter of 2026 by getting in alignment with God through prayer and through strategies, because only God is going to help us thrive in what's coming. You know, I did I hosted a recession ready webinar. Woo! I'm gonna say that had to be probably 2 years ago. The Lord laid on my heart to do a recession ready webinar. I was talking about getting ready for the recession, I would say, for the last 3 years. And people kept saying, oh, there's no recession. We're not going to have a recession. We're not going to have a recession. Now, I don't claim to know everything. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a pastor, an evangelist, a deacon, a deaconess, or a prophetess. But I know God. I know God. And I know what the Lord told me. I know what He told me. And He told me that it's going to be worse than the last recession. And to help people to get prepared. Because, it doesn't matter what this world economy is doing. It doesn't matter where you live. God is our provider. He is our source. He is our way maker. He will provide everything you need. You just have to get in alignment and a relationship with Him and hear Him. He will direct you and He will tell you what to do. How do I know? Because when my husband lost his very good paying job in 2016, I think it was. It's been so long. It's been years now since I started my home care business. In 2016. Now, we live in North Dakota, so he would find another job, work a few months, a good paying job, high paying job. Then he got laid off. That happened like 3 times, and I was fed up. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Not of him, because my husband's going to work. He's going to work. He's going to take care of his family. He's going to do what he has to do. If it's illegal, my husband is going to do it. But I was sick and tired, and I was talking to the Lord, and the Lord spoke to me, and He said, you already know what to do. You know what to do. See, I was a independent contractor for the state of North Dakota before I started my non-medical home care business. I was already doing it as an individual, because here in North Dakota is one of the few places, and we're back down Valley. Here in North Dakota is one of the few places where you can work as an independent contractor with the state, and the state will pay you Medicaid via Medicaid to take care of seniors, individuals with disabilities, what have you, in their home. Most places you have to be incorporated. You got to have an LLC. You got to be an agency. Not here in North Dakota. So I was already doing that. But the truth be told, I was scared to branch out and start an actual agency. Now, I had started businesses before, I did daycare when I lived in Florida. I started a hair business when I first moved here because you couldn't hardly find black hair care products when we first came here. So I was like, oh, I see an opportunity. We have black people here, may not be a whole lot, but we have black. I see an opportunity. But I didn't really work that business. I still was comfortable with my job. Now, mind you, my job was only paying $12 an hour. But with that $12 an hour, when I first came to North Dakota, oh, you're just running stop signs. I know we don't have a lot of stop signs in neighborhoods here. And you'll find that strange when you first come here. A lot of neighborhoods don't have stop signs. They have no sign and you just yield or you have a yield sign. But baby, that had a stop sign. He was just like, oh, I'm acting like I don't see it. Keep on rolling. But when I first came here, our car was $625 a month. You can live on $12 an hour. But we moved out of the apartment. We moved into a house, more expensive house, and had a couple kids or what have you. And when my husband lost his job, my $12 was not going to cut it. But I had gotten comfortable with, okay, just, oh, $12. Oh, they get on my nerves. I'm overworked. I'm underpaid. But hey, my husband got it. He got the money. I don't need to worry about it. Until one day we woke up and he didn't have it. And the Lord told me, you know what to do. And I was afraid. I was like, oh, what if this don't work out? What if this go wrong? But I had to stop worrying about what if this don't work out. I had to start focusing on when this do work out, when I do have two clients, if I'm going part-time and I'm making $3,000 a month from just doing this, taking a client for a couple hours a day, I'm doing this part-time. Oh, when I get two clients, ooh, when I get three clients, ooh, I started focusing on that. And before you know it, I got to the point where I didn't have to see clients. So, yes, oil was down here in North Dakota. At the time, we were the second highest producer of oil in the United States outside of Texas. Oil was down. The economy was taking a hit here in North Dakota because we run on oil. People like low gas prices. Most people all over the United States. But here in North Dakota, I don't want to see no low gas prices. No, I don't want to see gas for $2.15 here in North Dakota. I don't think I've ever seen it that low, but I don't want to see that. But my business was still making money. My point is that God will tell you what to do. He will show you what to do, and you can still prosper even though the economy may be bad or maybe getting rough. Because God knows all things. He knows the beginning from the end. He knows where the money is at. He knows where it's not, where it isn't at. He knows how to tell you how to shift, what to do next. So this prayer is going to help us get in alignment so that we don't miss what God has for us in this season. Some people are going to go under, but we're going to rise. We're going to fly high like the eagle. We are not going to go under. We are not going to go under. And we're going to do it by prayer and letting the Lord lead us. So I'll be posting more information on that as more video comes out, but it'll start in October. Again, it'll be on Sundays at 5 a.m. So keep your girl in prayer. Until next time, be blessed. Have a prosperous future. I love you guys. Take care.